Welcome back to Barry Charles News. Jon Benet Ramsey continues to hold the headlines. The pageant beauty queen at 6 years old, raped and murdered 28 years ago. Yes, indeed, folks, it was that long ago, and they have still not found the murderer. And why? Because of boulder police. Absolute debacle of a investigation into this. It's absolutely mind-boggling that all the mistakes they've done. They just had people on power trips in the leading positions. Absolute craziness, and this is why this murder has not been solved. It should have been solved within a year from the evidence. Absolutely, they had their man, could have had their man, but they failed to do the right thing, and they just tried to cover everything up instead of working on trying to solve the case. Yes, Jon Benet Ramsey, right here, right now. Let's have a look at the history and what they are trying to do right now to get this finally sorted. Yes, Jon Benet Ramsey had been an absolute tragic, raped and murdered in her own home. Whether it was in her own home or she was taken away and then dropped back, that's something you can debate at home. I don't have the evidence to see that, because there was potential evidence of the suitcase, that she was potentially in the suitcase at one point. Broken window was open, so there was a window open for someone to break in. Absolute craziness around that stuff. That it was there was DNA on clothing. There was proven just after 2 weeks that the family were not involved, and they continued. They just absolutely swept that under the carpet and continued to harass this family, pretty much still to this day. It's absolute ridiculous how they've gone down this path for so long, and there's an unknown suspect out there. But what else have police failed to do? Well, right here, right now, let's have a look at it. The basement door was never checked on the first police check. Are they smoking? What happened there? Absolute craziness. What's the world coming to when the police don't check a basement door? Absolute ludicrous stuff. This is just absolutely ludicrous. The poor father finds her child in the basement, bound, gagged, strangled, raped, all that in between. Is absolutely sadness, and I wouldn't want any person to go through it. And the fact that the police just absolutely left the evidence is mind-blowing. There's stun gun evidence that she got stun gunned, which only limited people at the time would be able to use, so they would have narrowed down the search. I just can't believe it happens in this day and age that this could even happen. And then you had issues after all this rubbish. About a month or so later, there was another potential issue with someone trying to do sexual contact with a minor. That was never really investigated. And then 9 months after the murder of Jon Benet, there was another sexual abuse case in the home, and the mother woke up and saw the offender, and the offender bolted, ran and jumped off from the second floor of the building and ran away and got away. Was that the murderer right there, right now? Was that the person that they left behind and could have gone? They did no DNA testing on it. Unbelievable. How much cover-up. I think these police should be locked up for this rubbish. Not just let go. They've been apparently just let go now. 27 years later, 28 years later. Absolute craziness. Absolutely mind-blowing that this can even happen. It's just tragedy. What is going to happen? Will anything ever happen? Well, they obviously got DNA on the database. Have they convicted this person for other things? This is all other questions out there. Is the person still alive? There's another big question out there. It's just absolute craziness how this story has still been alive. But it was obviously a big popular thing back there in 1996. I can't believe it was that long ago. Well, that's back to my childhood. Absolute and it still hasn't been solved. It's just absolute craziness. And basically because of the Boulder police failed to do what they needed to do. Absolutely, they failed in their opportunity to deliver the right thing right there for the person. Yeah, so to me, this is just an absolute tragedy. The parents just went through hell. It took them, over 10 years just to be proven innocent. They were proven innocent after 2 weeks, folks. The police had the evidence, and it took them 10 years, over 10 years, and the mother passing away before they even said, sorry, you're not a suspect anymore. Absolute craziness how it took that long. It was absolute madness. But yes, will Jon Benet ever be found? I find it highly doubtful. The only way they will find is if this person has done it again and been convicted of doing this, that their DNA would be in there. And I assume that is not in there, otherwise it already would be checked by the new people that have taken over the cold case. That would have been checked out by now, and clearly it hasn't come to anything. So the person's still either doing this stuff or has got older and not doing it anymore. But it's just a tragic set of events that happened there with the Jon Benet thing. But anyway, that is Barry Charles News. We will be back on this channel each and every week with 2 or 3 videos a week, giving you news from the past, the future, and today. Yes, we give you all the news right here on this channel, and hope you've enjoyed it, and I will be back with another video very, very soon.